ESPN.
Welcome back to the Senior Baseball World Series in Easley, South Carolina, with the J.B. Owens Sports Complex for Game 2 of the day. Our first matchup featuring a couple of our international regional champs out of the Europe-Africa region. It's the Netherlands facing Ottawa, our Canadian region champs, squaring off Game 2 of the day in Easley. Glad that you are with us. I'm Kevin Fitzgerald for the first day of 8 in Easley, as we will determine a Senior League Baseball World Series champion in 1 week. Let's look at how the Netherlands got here. Kennemerland from Haarlem, Netherlands, right outside of Amsterdam. They won regional by winning 4 out of the 5 games they faced. They beat France in the championship, a critical win against Italy earlier in their pool play, vaulted them to the championship. So Sherman Garrio's team is here and looking to make some noise, just like their cleanup man, Twan Geeling, did a couple of weeks ago in that Europe-Africa regional in Italy. He was, as is an RBI machine. Their vaunted slugger in the cleanup spot has been a hot hitter of late, and expect him to do some damage in this tournament week in Easley. Meanwhile, for Canada, they are the Canadian regional champs, of course, as you would expect. East Nepean Little League from Bourbon, Ottawa. The hometown underdogs toppled the reigning Canadian champs, Quebec, in a thrilling 3-2 championship game win earlier this week up in Ottawa. So Matt Beelen's club comes in here feeling pretty good about their odds of maybe doing some damage themselves now on the big stage. Matthew's son, Nolan, is over at first base today. He is Ottawa's up hitter, and he is their power hitter, to say the least. Great hitter as well, so a two-way star that is right there in the heart of Canada's order. And so there you see the Canadian flags flying around the stands. These meet in the second game of the day. In essence, a double elimination format, this Senior League Baseball Series. So you win, you advance. If you lose, you wind up being to the elimination bracket. The winner of this game would face Caribbean region champs. That's Curacao tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So if you win, you advance. If you lose, you play your way back, facing elimination the whole way to that international bracket championship game. Canada, as you see, fitting red, and Europe-Africa in the purple and the teal. The pitching matchup today features McDougall for Ottawa, and Joris Mainsma will be on the slope for the visiting Netherlands club. Mainsma, certainly one of the aces of this Netherlands team, and for Canada, Matt Beelen says he has 1A, 1B, and C. That's McDougall, the aforementioned Nolan Beelen, his son, and Reed Micah as well. It completes the trio of aces for the Canada winners. Earlier today, we saw Hawaii take down Texas in the first of 4. So that means Hawaii advances to face the East champs. That's New Jersey tomorrow afternoon at 1 Eastern. The loser, Texas, has to await how the rest of the winners' side of the U bracket unfolds to determine who it would face on Monday. First of 2 international games today. The Asia Pacific champs, New Zealand, faces the Latin American regional champions. That's Mexico. That game later today, also on ESPN+. So we are glad that you are with us all day long. 4 games a day from Easley, South Carolina through Thursday.
On the mound for Team Canada, number 12, Charlie McDougall.
I mentioned how the hometown underdogs of their regional championship here this week on Monday knocked out the unbeaten favorites, Quebec, the reigning Canadian champs at this level, in a thrilling 3 victory. That was just a day after winning in walk-off fashion in the semifinal, even to appear in that championship game. So this is a club that is very resilient, thinks it can handle anything, especially after moving such just a few days ago up in Ottawa. Meanwhile, for the Netherlands, they're a rested team, if you will. They punched their ticket to this Senior League Baseball World Series back on July 8th. Went 4-1 in pool play of that Europe-Africa tournament. A critical win against Italy. And that regional proved to be the big difference in the head-to-head win that the Netherlands needed to advance to this tournament. You hear the song, everybody here is a champion, but will you become the ultimate champ? And to do that, got to win a whole bunch of games over the next week. Due up for the Netherlands in the first, Colin Brewers, Tristan Kyer, and Leify van der Graaf to face Charlie McDougall. And here we go. Second game of the day is underway. First pitch at 1:20. Coming to you from J.B. Owens Recreation Complex in Easley, South Carolina. That's about 25 minutes outside Greenville, the large city in upstate South Carolina. McDougall delivers. His 1-0 is outside to Brewers, and so the count's close to no strikes. Temperature at first pitch, 85 degrees. And it is a warm afternoon in Easley. Temperatures are going to spike to the low to mid-90s essentially all weekend. 3-1 pitch from McDougall to Brewers. Nice changeup, and the count's gone. McDougall, the 15-year-old from Barrhaven, undoubtedly this team's most valuable pitcher. This is way outside that time, and so Brewers works a leadoff walk. Matt Beelen, his head coach, says he is just one of our best all-around athletes. Very versatile, dynamic. He can play the field. He can play the field. And again, part of the pitching staff of this Canada team, the ace of this East Little League championship squad. Tristan Kyer, 15, shortstop steps in. And he takes that one a little high for ball 1. Behind the plate today, calling the balls and strikes, is Bill Balog. The 4-man umpiring crew. Todd Saxey, first base umpire. Darren Weiss over at second. And then Ricky Delgado is at third. That pitch misses inside it, so McDougall has fallen behind the count to each of the first 2 Netherlands hitters. That's Brewers and Kyer. Ball 4. McDougall has walked to pair.
Now batting, number Hey, Levi, good job.
And time is called at this top of the first inning, where McDougall's going to get a visit from his catcher, Justin Morris, to try to settle the starter down. Here's Leify Von Graf, 15-year-old in the 3-hole, has an excellent baseball IQ according to his coaches. Got a chance to put the Dutch squad ahead in the opening inning, and he got hit by the pitch. The bases are loaded before an out is in the top half of the first. This one just barely got him. Now, not much of an effort to get out of the way of the pitch. However, the tactical move loads the bases for Twan Geeling, who was the hottest hitter in the batting order during their regional championship earlier this week. They won that crown 3 weeks ago on July 8th. They won 4 out of the 5 games they played in Novara, Italy. And that's high and away, so McDougall trying to find the zone in the top of the first. Geeling, tall and posing figure on the left side of the plate. Very patient and selective right now. These Dutch hitters want McDougall to throw them a strike. 3-1 is fouled away, so the count goes full. No one drove in more runs than Geeling in the tournament for the Netherlands. Payoff. Geeling fouls that back, keeps the at-bat alive. And you saw just a couple moments ago some Netherlands supporters wearing colors in the stands. Bases loaded in the first, a big spot. Payoff. Swing, and this one is hit in the air to right. This is Jeff Luo makes the catch. Should be deep enough, though, to get Brewers home, and it is. So as the coaches dictate, RBI machine drives in a run in the first. Put the ball into play, good things can happen. But we have already seen, just from watching the top half hit, and by the way, here's Lorenzo Willem up next. This is a very athletic look Netherlands team. McDougall finds the zone for a strike. Willem over at third base. Down to second. And the runner from third is going to come home and score. That's Kyer, and it's 2-0. So the Dutch coaches send Van der Graaf. The throw is a little high and wide to second. And Kyer comes home. Throw to second. And so Haarlem, the Netherlands, with a 2-0 lead. Haarlem, the hometown of this Little League program in suburban Amsterdam, maybe 20-25 minutes outside the center of the nation capital. And also about 10 minutes to the water as well. Down has got here to Lorenzo Willem. With a man at second. That one's fouled straight down. So there's still only one out. We're in position at second base. McDougall, the 3-2 is hit on the screws, out to center. This is Jason Campbell back over his head. Van der Graaf scores, and Lorenzo Willem into second with a run scoring double. It's 3-zip Netherlands in the first. There's a pitch up in the zone, and Willem ambushed it. And the Europe-Africa regional champs could not have asked for a better start. Their first hit was 5 batters in. However, it's already 3-zip. And that's what prompts the meeting on the mound. Matt Beelan, pardon. Coaching staff Andrew Morris and Jeff Micah. Our team settles down a bit. Senior League Baseball World Series, so we'll play 7 innings. Big league dimensions, 60 feet, 6 inches from the mound to the plate, 90-foot base paths. Avon Vicario takes a pitch away, ball 1. Breaking pitch that time from McDougal. There's Vicario. He's from Curaçao, which is a constituent country of the Netherlands in the Caribbean. His head coach, Sherman Garrio, was from that area originally. Garrio, the head coach from Aruba, where he grew up, and then he moved to the Netherlands with his family. Great off that time by McDougal. And he gets his first strikeout. Vicario that one out of the zone. So 2 away.
Now batting number 16.
Yeah, the off speed got Vicario at it. And so McDougal has definitely displayed some pretty good breaking stuff in the first inning. Had some trouble. There's Selwyn Herkmans, the dead hitter. That's there for a strike. McDougal walked the first 2 hitters and then hit a man. The base is loaded for the Dutch. Strike 2. McDougal again, ace, as Matt Beelan describes him, of this Canada staff. Swing, foul tip into the mitt. Did Morris secure cleanly? No, Balog appealed down to Todd Saxe to see if he had an angle at whether or not the catcher. Matt Beelan may want to speak with Balog about that one. So did it get the dirt? I thought it did, yeah, so that's a foul ball. Beelan, at a minimum, might be asking the umpires at least to conference and if anybody had a better view. But you just saw there on the replay that one was clearly a ball, or it wasn't the caught third strike. So it looks like the umpires are going to go to review that. There are several plays in this tournament this year that can be reviewed by replay. The video replay system was introduced last year at the Senior League Baseball level. And again, there's probably about a list of 8 to 10 items that are reviewable. And the reviews can either be initiated by the umpire or the manager can request that the umpires go take a peek. So again, with strikes on the hitter, it was foul tipped, keep in mind. Now, Matt Beelan is arguing, at least asking the umpires to double check to see if the catcher, Justin Morris, that one cleanly after the foul tip. Clearly he did not. And so Selwyn Herkmans will have one more chance after the umpires review this. But nevertheless, a wonderful start. for Kennemerland Little League. So watch one more time, hits the dirt. And again, for that to be a foul tip and secured in the mid, it's got to be secured clearly. Not off of a bounce like in that case. Has to be caught on the fly, if you will, from bat to glove. The umpires do confirm after taking a peek at video replay that that is a foul ball. So Herkmans gets one more crack. And can he pick up the runner from second? That's Lorenzo Willem, who doubled in a run earlier in the inning. 0-2. They're going to miss, and that breaking pitch does ultimately do in Herkmans. Inning is McDougall strikes out a pair. However, the Netherlands 3 runs. A great start for the Europe Africa regional champ. So Haarlem's Kennemerland Little out of the Netherlands, after conquering Europe and Africa's best at that regional earlier this month, come out swinging with 3 runs the top half of the first inning off of Charlie McDougall. And so that's a nice spot to be in if you're Joris Mainsma. Mainsma, the 16-year-old from Haarlem. Ball today from his head coach Sherman Gario. And Gario described Mainsma as one of the aces of the staff. Loves to be down, loves the nuances of pitching, and he's got a nice bar of a fastball, a curveball, and a changeup that he has a nice command of it as well. Now Mainsma faces the Canada Regional champs. That's Ottawa's East Nepean Little League. And so the top of the order that Mainsma faces in the home first, already with a lead, is Jacob Elliott, Justin Morris, and Reed Micah. Micah, the son of one of the coaches on Matt Beelan's staff. It was a fast start for the Dutch. The first 3 hitters reached. Twan Geelings drove the first run in of the ball game. Another scored when a runner steals second base, and Lorenzo Willem plated the 3rd run in the top half for the Netherlands. Second game of 4 today in Easley, South Carolina. 6 United States regional champs and 6 international regional champs battling for the prize, the top crown that will be determined next Saturday right here in Easley. Mainsma working out of the stretch, spots a fastball in for strike one on the outer corner to Elliott. Elliott from Ottawa, loves Patrick Holmes, the star of this football offseason's latest great documentary. Mainsma finds the inside corner for a strike. Elliott is very versatile. He hits leadoff, but he can also hit in a 2-hole, a 3-hole. Just effective bat for this suburban Ottawa Little League program. 0-2. Swing, that one is bashed to the left. Now, one interesting caveat to remember, Canada won its regional championship 5 days ago. On Monday, it defeated the unbeaten Quebec Little League program. And 5 days later, they play their first game of the World Series. Meanwhile, the Netherlands punched their ticket back on July 8th, so it's had weeks of rest, if you will. 1-2, coming. Swinging a bouncer to the right side. Cairo Hazel is all over it. To 1 out for Mainsma.
Now batting number 6, Justin Morris.
Mainsma next battles Justin Morris, one of the younger players on the roster. He's 13. No batting gloves for the number 2 hitter. A speedy runner if he gets on. Mainsmill misses low. 1 ball, no strikes. Oh, on the ground, but over to short. Tristan Kyer throws Morris out. On. Mainsma, not just a pitcher, he is a very versatile player himself. Two-way player at times. When he's playing the field, he'll play the outfield. And Garrios, his command is really strong. And that is his biggest strength. First pitch to the number 3 hitter. Mike is in there for a strike. And he is not going to many batters. He's going to make the opponent beat him and lets the defense behind him do the work. Here comes the 0-1. Swing. That's strike 2. And he's here just incredibly hard worker. He's got great practice habits. And he's trying to go 1-2-3 in the first. Team ahead. 0-2, wave and a miss. Strike 3. And brilliant first inning for the Dutch. The Netherlands bring in the top half, and Mainsma goes 1-2-3 in the home half to the second week in our second game of the day. The excitement of the World Series can be downloaded in the new Little League World Series. Fans can view schedules, watch all the highlights, and plan out their experience using the Little League World Series app. So download today. The Netherlands. But Easley, South Carolina from Haarlem, Netherlands. 20-30 minutes outside of Amsterdam and maybe 10 minutes to the water. That's the North Sea that borders the north side and the northern coast of the country. The Europe and Africa regional champs jumped on Charlie McDougall and scored 3 runs in the first inning. Now it's 8-9-1 due up in the second. Matthias Schulte ter Horst on the right side started. McDougall has displayed a good array of breaking pitches, and he gets the number 8 hitter swinging through that. Schulte ter Horst is in right field. 0-1 drops on the outside edge for a strike. Behind him, Cairo Hazel, and then the leadoff man, Colin Brewer's expected up here in the second. 0-2 is in the dirt. So if you win this one, you have a great, while it's the first game of the tournament, this winner would face the Caribbean champ Curacao from Williamstad. 1-2 breaking, just punched back foul. And then from there, you're essentially 1 win away from what into the de facto international final game before the international bracket final takes on Friday. If you're one of these two teams, you win your first 3, and you are automatically into the international final. 12 teams, 6 from around the U.S. McDougall misses a little high. Now, McDougall allowed 4 of the first 5 hitters he faced in that opening inning to reach. But then he stood up a little bit and struck out the last 2 hitters he faced to retire the side. Works efficiently, payoff. Reached at, poke around to Reed. Micah wings it to first in time.
Now batting number 2, Cairo Hazel.
McDougall was the winning pitcher for Canada in that thrilling semifinal in the Canada Championship earlier this week. There's Cairo Dell takes that off speed on the outer corner for a strike. Again, Canada went 2-3 in pool play. But even with that record, they earned a spot in the semifinals. They were the placed team out of 4 and ultimately got the job done. So in that semifinal, they had to beat their counterparts from another Little League in Ottawa. They did so in walk-off fashion. 1-2 is slapped into right. That's a base hit for Hazel. So the Netherlands has a runner on with 1 out. And we go back to the top of the order with Colin Brewers coming up. Hazel, fine job of not trying to pull that pitch, just with it on the outside corner for a nice easy single. Runner on with that pitch in the dirt, and Hazel steals the base easily. Dougal's last outing, as I was referencing, was a gem last Sunday. That Ottawa team he beat was Oakville Little League. It was an excellent outing, and then his team walked it off. Claim a 5-4 win. So that vaulted them to the championship against, the were unbeaten, and they had really dominated. Throw to second is behind Hazel. He gets back. And they beat Quebec in a 4-hour lightning-delayed marathon with nearly 2,000 folks in the stands at East Nepean Little League's home ballpark. They were at Hamilton Yards at Nepean Sports Place. That one's in the dirt, ball 4, and you got to watch out because Hazel's going to go to third, throw down, he's safe. So the wild pitch allowed to move to third base. Brewers has walked for a second straight plate appearance. Here we go, Netherlands putting some pressure on once again with a pair of runners on in the top of the second. Here's Tristan Kyer, the number 2 hitter. First pitch nearly gets away from Morris. Hazel has blazing speed over at third, so anything that gets by Morris may create a tricky situation. News for Canada is it looks like it's a short backstop. Outside corner for a strike. Runner throw down is cut off by Micah, the shortstop, and Hazel did not think to test the arm of Reed Micah as well. However, to have 2 runners in scoring position. Kyer puts it into play, bounces it over the mound. That's through, base hit. Hazel scores easily. Here comes Brewers home, and it's 5-0 Netherlands. The only man that really had a play on this one was McDougal. And after it bounced right to mid, base hit. Outside of Willem's double, the Netherlands aren't necessarily hitting the ball terribly hard, but they've got a whole bunch of runners on base thanks to some walks. Another batter was hit. And it's 5-0 just like that, about 30 minutes after first pitch. Runner goes on the pitch out. Brilliant decision, and Morris throws out Kyer. So that time the Netherlands a bit too aggressive and maybe reckless there as they were building their lead. Look at that. Morris calls for the pitch out, secured it, And just on target there to throw out Kyer. Well done. Now the bases are empty again. 1-0 to Leify. Vondergraaf misses outside. McDougal, a quick worker on the mound, coming home. And that pitch in on the hands of Vondergraaf, fouls it down the line. But the Netherlands seem to be an aggressive team, both at the plate and on the base paths. Nobody out, 2 out for the number 3 hitter. Croft tops it, foul off to the left, so the count evens. Vondergraaf hit back in the first, now waits 2-2. That one carves side. Payoff. That's ball 4. So that's the batter that McDougal has walked. And again, if Kyer is not caught stealing, the Netherlands would have 2 runners on with just 1 out. And Twan Geeling, pardon me, to dig into the left. No one's in for a strike to Geeling to start the at-bat. Also noting that thrilling semifinal win over Ottawa that the Canada team coaches reference. That was a come-from-behind win. Geeling underneath that one, sends it out to deep right, and Jeff Luo is there for the out. The Netherlands, though, get 2 more. It's a 5-0 lead. Find the Little League on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the official at Little League. And don't forget to use the hashtag Little League World Series. Netherlands fans are in good spirits. 5-0 lead for Haarlem's Kennemer Little League, which won the Europe/Africa Regional Championship back on July 8th. Their musters in the early innings of their first matchup of the tournament. Flare off the bat of Nolan Beelan, and it's caught. Matthias Schulter Horst with the diving catch in right one away. The rotary right here. This one falling, fading, full extension, got it. Matthias Schulte Horst, one of a pair of brothers on the roster. And watches this one bounce off of Evan Bell's bat, rolled to first. 2 quick outs for Joris Mainsma. So Mainsma's 5 hitters. He's got 5 up and 5 down. Bain, the designated hitter, is coming up.
Now batting number 19, Owen McBain.
Sherman Gario mentioned it yesterday. Mainsma, one of his best pitchers in terms of the end, finds the zone and doesn't walk many hitters. So McBain the exception this inning. He takes the first pitch. Took it low and away though. Here's the 1-0. It's 2 balls, no strikes. And this start for the Netherlands has certainly given them quite a confidence and courage. The second game of 4 today, day 1 of the Senior League Baseball World Series. That one hits the outside edge for. And the thing that most stands out about Mainsma's abilities on the mound, just a couple innings in, is the roll. From the stretch, paints the outside edge again. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. "16-year-old. Looking for another 1-2-3 frame. Fires home. Went with the breaking ball this time. Misses in. Well, if you're McBain, you probably want to see the good stuff right here. Mainsma has the outside corner for a strike with that fastball twice in the at-bat. 3-2. Goes back to it, strike 3. He's got a pair of outs, and he's got 6 up and 6 down. The Netherlands Cats go back to work, already up 5 runs next in the 3rd. Want your child to experience the team fun of Little League baseball or softball? Well, visit playlittleleague.org and find a Little League community near you. The Latin America regional champs, Mexico from Matamoros, play here today. Matter of fact, they play next. Latin America play New Zealand, the Asia Pacific regional champs. For a 4 p.m. first pitch. And boy, that's one of the best elements of Little League, baseball, softball, World Series, Junior League, Intermediate, Senior League, representing your country, or state, or region. You see the Canadian flags. We saw the Mexico colors. Seen a whole bunch of orange as well. De facto country color in a sense. They have come out to a fast start here. 5 runs in the first 2 innings against McDougall, who, boy, McDougall is, he's got a good arsenal of pitches here. However, this is a very athletic Netherlands team that has put the ball in play against him and have scored 5 runs. Now, the undoing for McDougall, at least just 2 innings through, is that he's walked for hitters. That's a few too many. 0-2 here to Lorenzo Willem. Doubled in a run back in the first inning, misses outside. McDougall has also hit, so the Netherlands has 5 runs on just 3 hits. Willem punches that one over to third. White picks it up on to first just in time, and he beats Willem. 1 gone. White had to get rid of it very quickly, and across the diamonds. Looks like just in time. Maybe the only bone to pick that the Netherlands would have is, did Beelen have to come off the bag when he reached for that? It's history now, and so Javon McCarr takes that for a strike. McCarr, a Curacao native on the roster, but again, Curacao, the country, is a Dutch constituent country in the Caribbean. The interesting note would be this: if the Netherlands wins, then Vicario and the Dutch would face Curacao, the Caribbean regional champs, tomorrow. 0-2. Wave and a miss. That's the second time McDougall has got Vicario reaching for curve. 2 gone. So McDougall hopefully beginning to settle down in Canada. He's retired 3 in a row. That's in essence the same pitch that Vicario chased in his first at-bat. Selwyn Herkmans now takes that pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Speed, strike 2. McDougal looking for a 1-2-3 frame. That one bounces. Remember the semifinal that McDougal pitched in 1 week ago? Point in that game, East Nepean was down 4-zip. 1-2 and a miss, strike three, and it's a 1-2-3 third inning. They came behind to win that semifinal, and they'll have to start their rally today. If they want to do the same, it's 5-0 after 2.5. 5-zip lead for Haarlem's Kennemerland Little League out of the Netherlands. Here they are in making their presence felt with a 5-0 lead. Hey, remember the Little League Community Recognition Program helps to honor those dedicated individuals who not only volunteer their time at local Little League programs, but also contribute in other ways to improve communities. So to learn more or to nominate a community hero, visit littleleague.org/community heroes. The Dutch Orange everywhere at the J.B. Owens Recreation Complex. A long way from just outside of Amsterdam, where this Little League organization is based. But they are going for something that forget just Netherlands baseball team, but no Europe or Africa champion has ever reached the title game of this tournament. Slow roll. And the throw from Kyer in time to retire Thomas White. So 7 up and 7 down. Jairus Mainsma, and the defense behind him has done some fine work as well. That's an easy play for Kyer. The charge, you've got to glove it cleanly. The transfer has to be clean, and then the throw has to be on the money to get a speedy runner like White. Now it's Jeff Luo, the right fielder in the 8-hole. This pitch sails high to Luo. Sherman Gario, though, he has got a passionate, baseball-crazy roster. Obviously, as you would expect, very tight-knit group, very resilient team. And again, playing baseball and succeeding in baseball in a soccer or football-crazed country, of course. 1-1 is on the way. Wave and a miss. Mainsma in point with his accuracy. Very precise on the mound. Speaking of soccer, the Netherlands women's national team with a huge match coming up in a couple of days. The U.S. women do. Those two teams, the U.S. and the Netherlands, just met on the pitch days ago in New Zealand. And both likely to advance to the knockout stages. One would think. Mainsma deals. That one's Chow. But Gario, the manager, he was born in Aruba, and he himself played baseball from the age of 6 years old. So he has been invested in the game of baseball for the last 30-plus years. When he was 16, he relocated to the 7-year-old final coach, and he's got him in his second year coaching youth baseball in the Senior League World Series. A really close team with a great camaraderie, and that's usually what you hear about squads that make it this far. 2-ball, 2-strike count. There have not been many counts that have favored the Canada hitters nearly one time through the order today. Here comes 2-2. Bounced over to first. Skeeling's got it, and there's 2 out. And this is large Netherlands team of experienced players on this stage. Remember, a year ago, the same Kennemerland Little League played in the intermediate League World Series in California just last year. They won a game, but then they lost their next two and were eliminated. So most of this roster was on that team a year ago on a stage similar to this one. Now you're just at a league, one league higher, the senior league level. 1-0 to Evan Campbell. This is the number 9 hitter, and a lot of these Canada hitters, they have been late on the Mainsma fouls. Now, what's the intermediate level? A 50-70 field. It's a hybrid dimension field, not quite 90-foot base paths. From mound. Mainsma misses side and low, so 2 balls and a strike. He's used just 31 pitches to this point, and he's nearly one time through the order with his team up runs. Outside corner, that's there, strike 2. Gario, a coach on that Netherlands team that was at the Intermediate World Series last year, to the manager of this club this season. 2-2, a high chop off the plate. Could be a tough one for the third base. Willer plays it nicely on to first in time. Up and 9 down for Jaris Mainsma and the Dutch. It's zip. They go back to work at the top half next. Netherlands up 5-0, and you can see 9 down for Jaris Mainsma, the defense. How about the last play to close out the home third? High chop off the plate to third. That's Lorenzo Willem. You got to figure out, when am I going to do I try to pick it? Do I wait for it to come down? And he made the right decision to throw on time and on target to first to close out the bottom of the third. You can read Micah answer, the shortstop, down to a knee to make the, but he cannot retire Matthias Schulte to Horst. He's got the infield single to third. Might cover a lot of ground. The sliding stop, and the one hop to first was a beat late. So here's Cairo Hazel. He singled and scored back in the second. And the Netherlands trying to go back to work against Lee McDougall, who has struck out 4, but he has allowed 5 runs. Walked 4 and hit a batter, so he's been a little erratic. The bunt foul back to the backstop. McDougall undoubtedly the ace of this staff, though, so he is, at times he's looked done, but the Netherlands have been able to get runners on early in innings. It certainly led to the production. Hazel bounces it foul. Nine base runners now. The Netherlands just about twice through the order. So to put runners on, they have converted. Last year, largely the same roster. The Netherlands that was in the Intermediate World Series. They won their first game, but then lost the next 2. Hazel up the middle. Elia steps on second for 1 and first in time. That's a 4-3 double play. Exactly what Canada needs. With the Netherlands getting the leadoff man on, he is now erased. Any other time, with the infield playing at double play depth, Hazel probably has a base hit. But in this case, no flip necessary, and you can turn the double play on the very fast 9 hitter. So now Colin Brewer's up on the left side with no. Waving a miss, scoot off speed from McDougall. He has done a nice job of working the changeup and the off speed effectively. Brewers has reached base twice today, pair of walks. Sits on that, wraps it into center, falling, fading, a dive, Campbell's got it. Inning over. The Netherlands get a leadoff runner, but nothing else. Pokes it out to shallow center. Thought he might have a hit. Campbell is no way. 5-0 Netherlands, though. If you want to see the girls with the game, tune into the excitement with tag Summer of Softball and visit littleleaguesoftball.org for great content, information, and other news about starting a softball league and much more. I think the one thing you hear from all of these coaches on the baseball, softball side, Little League, Senior League, Intermediate, Junior, etc. Coaches talk about just growing the game, and there is a genuine passion in being an encouraging, guiding voice and for these young boys and girls playing at this level. Fourth inning, top of the order due up for Canada, and they're trying to rattle the cage here in a sense. They have been held scoreless, and no one has reached base. Let us introduce you to Joris Mainsma, the 16 from Harlem. 0-2. Jacob Elliott, the leadoff man, is that foul? No room for Lorenzo Willem. Sherman Gario mentioned that Mainsma has got a great command and control of his pitches on the mound. Fastball, curveball, changeup. Now Gario has, he says he has pitchers that he feels comfortable out there at any time. 0-2 is poked in the air, out to left. Win that one up for Vondergraaf. And there's one out in the fourth. This Europe team, a region winner, I should say, they just quite simply took care of business. Their regional tournament took place the first week of July in Navarra. The Netherlands beat the Czech Republic. They beat both Italian teams in the field. And France. The only team they lost to was the UK. However, that didn't factor into determining a champion, because the Netherlands had the best record in pool play, and they had a critical head-to-head win against the only other team with as good a record as they that's the Verona Little League team from Italy, and they beat them head-to-head. So here they are. 0-2 to Justin Morris, way outside. And so say hello to Kennemerland Little League from Harlem, just outside of Amsterdam. Morris punches it straight down. Now Harlem's a medieval city of about 160,000 people, suburb of Amsterdam, about 20-30 minutes outside the country's capital city. Close to the coastline. They got the North Sea about 10 minutes away. Oh, big hook. Mainsma sets Morris down. 2 gone in the fourth. Joris Mainsma is rolling. He has faced 11 hitters. He's retired all of them, and he's used just 42 pitches. Now this is the old school hook. That's about as 12 to maybe 630. Now the number 3 hitter, Reed Micah, takes the fastball low. Micah struck out back in the first inning. Has 3 punch outs, and his outs have been ground outs. That's at the knees, called first. Joris Mainsma, the 16-year-old from right there in Harlem. Incredibly hard worker, according to this coaching staff. 1-1 is drilled to the second baseman. That's off of Hazel's mid, and Canada, its first base hit. But hats off to Joris Mainsma, going 11 up and 11 down to start their tournament here. Hard hit ball. I mean, undoubtedly you think that's a hit for Micah. This is an extremely difficult one for Hazel, and it gobbled him up in base. Nolan Beelan, he's the cleanup hitter. On the right side, takes the inside corner. Beelan flew out to right in the second, although it was hard to fly out. It was a sinking bloop shot that looked like a single, and Matthias Schultz dove and stole the base hit away from him. Behind in the 0-2. With 2 gone and a 1 Canadian runner on. 0-2. Swing, that one's up in the air. Right side. Schulte to Horst underneath it. No. Falls in. Has runners at the corners now. Micah was running, of course, with 2 outs. Dig hard, and so Beelan. Eventually, he does get that hit in the shallow right. He thinks it's the obvious third out. Hazel and Schulte to first with a bit of miscommunication. I don't think anybody really called the off. So the baseball gods this time Beelan. Evan Tao takes that on the outside corner. Tao bounced out to Geeling at first, his only other at-bat. Let's see if Canada can get a run here. They have gifted an opportunity. And so Ottawa's East Nepean Little trying to get on the board for the first time this tournament. Runner takes off for second. And he stepped off. Mainsma did, and this could easily end the half. Vicario dives and tags out Micah. Canada with a huge mistake. They had a chance to maybe play a run. Their gamble didn't pay off. Netherlands in control past the halfway point of this opening game at the Senior League Baseball World Series. Canada blunder in the home fourth. They had runners at the corners and tried the gamble, right? So you send the runner from first to second to try to force a balk. Mainsma steps off nicely, and he turns just momentarily towards second, and the runner at third, Reed Micah, took off a little too soon. Mainsma recognized that, and they got him in the rundown. So Canada, who had runners at the corners and a chance to score its first run, comes away with nothing in the bottom of the fourth. So we press on to the top of the fifth. Netherlands back to work at the plate. It's the heart of the order due-up. Tristan Kyer, Leify van der Graaf, and Twan Geeling. 2, 3, and 4 due up against Charlie McDougall, who is now tossed back-to-back scoreless innings. And McDougall has, at times, bothered these Dutch hitters is breaking stuff. Kyer walked in the first. He also drove in a pair of runs in the second. Were the latest Netherlands runs to score. Barrels that one up, rolls it over to short. Has got to hurry, bobbled it momentarily, and so that's a leadoff base runner for Haarlem, Netherlands. Micah knocked it down first. Kyer, very fast runner. He is awarded the base hit that time, and that makes most sense. Now Leify van der Graaf, number 3 hitter, tries to drop the bunt down, and it instead rolls foul. Van der Graaf showing the selflessness here as the number 3 hitter to move the runner over. as we push now into the later innings. The winner of this one advances to face the Caribbean champions, Curacao. And the way things are looking right now, we may have a Dutch-on-Dutch battle tomorrow. Base hit for Vondergraaf to the right side. Kyer stops at second. Back-to-back singles for the Netherlands at fifth. And right here, Vondergraaf, who's now reached 3 times. He was hit, he walked, and now his base hit. Doesn't do too much. Attacks the gap on the right side of the field. And Twan Geeling, I can understand why he's got the Nick BI machine. Every time he's at the plate, he's up with runners on. And he bluffs the bunt momentarily. McDougall's breaking pitch misses too tall. Geeling drove a run in with his sacrifice fly in the first, also flew to the right in the second. He bunts, first base line, rolls. Small ball can always be helpful and is always selfless. Strategically, maybe the Netherlands too selfless here with your cleanup man. Swinging a hot bat, at least stretching back to the Europe-Africa Regional 3 weeks ago. Sensing the magnitude of the moment. Canada calls time. And I think Matt Beelan wants to go over a whole bunch of tactical information here. Should there be another bunt on and 2 runners aboard. So you can hard charge from third base, but that means you have the wheel play on, and Micah would have to go cover third. Micah is in at third. McDougall bluffs the throw to second. Or rather, Thomas White, I should say, the third baseman. He's certainly playing in. He's on the grass. Elia, the second baseman, holds the runner. Their runner to third. The dive at the tag attempt. Kyer is safe. There is one thing that Netherlands has made very clear. Are very aggressive on the base paths, and with that, you know, now you start to think about almost perhaps Geeling's bunt used as bait in a sense, because White was in and trying on the pitch at third, and Kyer recognized even if there was an on the throw to third base, White was going to have to hustle to get back and apply the tag. Exactly. Happened. Now 2 in scoring position. 2-1. Swing. That one's into right. It's base hit. The Netherlands with brilliant execution. 1 run. Throw to the plate. Knocked down. Not in time. And it's 7-0 the 5th. So the Netherlands, all they needed was 3 hitters to score 2 runs. Kyer singled. Vondergraaf singled. The stolen bases, and Geeling knocks in a pair.
Now batting, number 18, Lorenzo, yellow.
And Lorenzo Willem hits with Geeling at first. So as a team, the Netherlands has swiped 4 bases. Another man was caught trying to steal. They've walked 4 times. Batter has also been hit, so they take advantage of the opportunities that they are afforded. And no strikes to Willem. And we've described this Netherlands team as a very athletic, physical-looking team, but they're pretty aggressive and tactical when they get on base. That has been abundantly clear. It's 2-0. And the innings now, time running out for Canada. A very steamy early afternoon in Easley, South Carolina. Works the Dutch's fifth walk today. And time is called as we're going to have a pitching change. Second mound visit of the inning, and Charlie McDougall's afternoon is done. He struck out 4 and at times displayed a really perplexing array of pitches, but the 5 walks and a hit batter is hurt him. And there he is at 92 pitches. 95 and under is where you want to be in this tournament. We'll take a timeout here. David Kelly, the 15-year-old from Osgood, Ontario, is on the mound. He relieves Charlie McDougall, who pitched 5+ innings, 4 hitters in this fifth, but did not retire. There's 2 runners on with nobody out, and a 7-0 lead over Ottawa's Nepean Little League in their first game of this Senior League Baseball World Series. Winner advances to face the Caribbean region champs tomorrow. And at that point, you're 1 win away from what turns out to be the international bracket semifinal game. And the loser goes to the elimination side of the bracket. And that is, your season's on the line with every game. The number 6 hitter, Javon Vicario, faces Kelly in the 5th. First offering runs in, and it gets away from Moore. And so the pass ball allows both runners to move up. That one falls, and the count's 2-0. So Vicario up third time. McDougall struck him out twice on sliders tailing away from the righty hitter. So let's see how he now fares against Kelly. He has a favorable count to work with. Oh. And now he's in the driver's seat. Vicario taken all the way. That's there for a strike. I mentioned how the winner would face Curacao tomorrow. Vicario, Curacao originally, from Montagna, Curacao, now lives in the Netherlands. There's the 3-1. Oh, it's way inside, and so the bases are full. The Netherlands has worked as a team 6 walks, plus a batter has been hit. They've stolen 4 bases. So they have, at times, capitalized, being the wiser team, using small ball to build this large advantage. And they can really break it open here. Selwyn Herkmans on the left side with juiced. And to do the damage, though, has to see a strike from Kelly. Herkmans like the kill. 0 for 2 with 2 punch-outs. Herkman's one of the youngest players, not just on the team, but in the tournament. He's still 14. And he doesn't turn 15 until next week. Counts 2 balls and a strike. Big, tall left-hander, power hitter, so naturally his favorite. Big Poppy, David Ortiz. Here comes the 2-1. Herkmans lets that one go. Nowhere to put the big lefty. .3-1, popped up the line and out of play to the left. Giant payoff pitch on the way. Outside, that's ball 4. And the Netherlands lead grows to 8-0. They have walked 7 times as a team, including the last 3 batters. Willem, Vicario, and Herkmans. So Kelly has walked the first 2 hitters that he has faced and tries his hand now at Matthias Schulte ter Horst. It's a good looking pitch and he takes it for a strike. Matthias playing his younger brother, that's Stein. 2 brothers are on the team. Stein, part of that trio of reliable pitchers that Garbo depends on. It's Mainsma, Steins, and then Leif Groff as well, who is in left field today. 0-2. That's in the dirt. Behind the catcher, but everybody stays. And for Matthias, he said this has been a particularly special tournament season for him. It's the first time that he has ever played on a track like this with his little brother. Waits on a 1-2. That one runs inside. Matthias Bro. I like a lot of these players. Gario says he's always asking coaches how to get better, pays attention to the details, the nuances. And the 2-2 is away, so the count goes full. And you can just kind of sense things maybe about to bubble over. Canada already in an 8-0 hole, and things are shaky a bit here in the 5th. 3-2 is popped up into right, falling, and it's in for a base hit. 1 run scores. Vicario coming home. It's a 2-run single for Matthias Schulte ter Horst. 10-0 Netherlands. Herkmans to third on that base hit, and Schulte ter Horst. Schulte ter Horst. Well, let me take it back. That was just a 1-run single for Schulte ter Horst. Bases are still loaded. Vicario stayed at third, Herkmans at second, and Arrow Hazel on the right side. Hazel attacks the first pitch, bounces it to third, catches it cleanly to home for the first out. So a fielder's choice, and but does not score.
Now batting number 21, Colin Brewers.
So 1 out. Bases are still loaded for Colin Brewers. He is the 9th batter up here in the 5th. And the Netherlands is just about to bat around here. (1-0) runs tight and nearly catches Brewer's belt. So Herkmans is at third, Schulte ter Horst at second, and Hazel first. And bouncer off to the right, foul. Brewers today has walked twice. That's 2 of the 7 walks that the Netherlands has drawn at. Another batter was hit. And they have 7 hits as a team. Outside edge for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 9 runs for the Dutch and 15 base runners. They are in command. He delivers, great off speed, and he gets Brewers swinging through that. 2 away. It's a 4-run 5th inning for the Dutch. And it's not over yet. The meat of the order coming up with the bases still loaded. Yeah, good breaking pitch that time from David Kelly, who relieved McDougal earlier this frame. Kyer takes that same pitch, this time on the inside corner for a strike. A pair of hits and a walk today. He's scored 2 runs and he's driven 2 in. So it's been a very productive day for the 15-year-old from. Oh, 2. Reached at, foul, back to the screen. Has certainly been a statement to the first few innings for the Netherlands. 9 runs and counting. And Joris Mainsma has allowed just hits in his 4 innings of work.
It's gone, it's gone. Go straight, hey guys.
That pitch misses away, so it's a ball and 2 strikes. See if Kelly can get out of this, and Strand, the base is loaded. Off speed misses upstairs, so the count's now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tristan Kyer. 10th Dutch hitter to the plate in this 5th inning. They have batted around and they've scored 4. Trying to add more. Here we go. That one's bounced under Kelly's mitt. Diving stop at second. Shuffle to the base. Not in time. Ball gets away from Micah, and 2 runs come home on a play that looked like was going to end the inning. The Netherlands gets 2 more out of it. But Kyer to play, and with all these runners on, that's the name of the game sometimes. Jacob Elliott with a nice diving stop. Even with a perfect full, I don't think Micah was going to get to the base in time anyway. And so just that, from the possible 3rd out to 2 more runs, and the inning continues. And here's Leify van der Graaf. Pounces on that first pitch. So that should be an RBI for Kyer. And then the second score is on the error.
I know. Just want to help.
It has been a busy 5th inning. And for the Netherlands, just getting all these runners on in a variety of different ways has difference. So the count evens now to ball and a strike to Leify van der Graaf, who's been hit, he's walked, he's also singled. He scored 2 runs and pick up another perhaps. Here comes the 1-1. That's in the dirt. 3 balls and a strike to Vondergraaf. 3-1, cut at and miss, strike 2. Trying to close the door on this crooked 5th inning. 6 runs are home for the Nets. Payoff, runners go, wave and a miss, and it's over. Kelly strikes out Vondergraaf, but it's a 6 in top of the 5th inning. The Netherlands in control. Looking to win game 1 and advance to face Curacao tomorrow. Yeah. Netherlands with a score 6 in the 5th inning. Take an 11-0 lead into the home 5th, where this game could potentially be coming to this half inning if something doesn't change. More on that in a moment. So remember, a big announcement regarding Athletes Unlimited. History is going to be made. In a lot of ways, so it's happening this August as professional softball comes to Greenville, North Carolina for the first time ever. Athletes pro games at the Little League Softball World Series, August 8th and 9th. Learn more at little.org/athletesunlimited. Netherlands with a maybe near knockout blow in the top half of the 5th have an 11-0 lead, and Jarl Mainsma, who took a no-hitter into the bottom of the 4th inning, back on the mound with 53 pitches. And there's a couple of things to get to here. Evan Tapp is the leadoff man for Ottawa's East Nepean League, who won the Canadian Championship just 5 days ago. 1-2 pitch, miss side. Mainsma has allowed just a pair of hits, that's it. He retired all of the first 11 hitters, so had a perfect game through 4 2/3 before Reed Micah and Nolan Beelan collected back to hits in the 4th inning. And pitch misses high, that's now ball 3. So a couple things are in the 5th inning. Because the Netherlands has a 10-run or larger lead, a potential run rule regulation is in a here if Canada doesn't score at least 2 runs. 3-2 pitch fouled away. Meanwhile, on the other hand, here's Joris Mainsma, who is approaching 6 pitches. And there's something to be said about his pitch count today. Mainsma has been nearly unhittable. His command and control has been exquisite. Payoff. That's there, called 3rd strike, and Tao, his first batter retired here in the 5th. 4 strikeouts for Mainsma, and that, I mean, maybe it's his last hitter. Owen McBain would be the next man. Now, if a player in this tournament pitches 46 to 60 pitches in a day, 2 full calendar day rest must be observed. So if Mainsma throws fewer pitches, here's the first to Owen McBain, he would have it for 2 full days of rest. That would be Monday and Monday. Oh, he's tapped off the end of the bat, down the line, and foul. If the Netherlands wins, it faces the Caribbean champs tomorrow. Then if they were to win that, they would play Tuesday. So if you want Mainsma Tuesday, he would have to throw, this would have to be his last pitch. 1-1 is cut at and missed. Although I don't think that is going to be served right here. One, two, over to short. Kyer fumbles it, so McBain reaches on the error. And that could be a very critical base runner. Again, Canada, if it wants to avoid a full defeat, it would need to score twice in this inning.
Number 3, Thomas White.
Well, I'm 60. Because the Netherlands coaching staff wouldn't have won. And there you go. Even Matt Beelen, Canada's head to coach's third, gives Mainsma a salute for what he did today. So looks like the Netherlands had 60 pitches as opposed to 61, and that would of course keep him in play for Tuesday. They certainly look like they're well on their way to a win this afternoon. It would vault them to tomorrow's semi. That is now going to be at, pardon me, not semifinal, just tomorrow's tournament against the Caribbean region champs. That's Curacao. Update on that game. The Netherlands, if you're looking to tune in and watch this one in the afternoon, right outside of Amsterdam, it's a 3 local first pitch. Translation, our game tomorrow is now scheduled to start at 9 a.m., not 10 a.m. Due to pending weather, the first pitch time for tomorrow's game against the winner of this one and the Caribbean champs is now at 9 a.m. full time in South Carolina on ESPN+. So 9 a.m. and 3 o'clock 3 p.m. in the Netherlands. And there's the new pitcher replacing Mainsma. And that's Matthias Schulte Terhorst, who comes right field. So remember to download the Little League World Series. The excitement of this year's World Series can be put right to your phone. View schedules, highlights, and plan out your League World Series experience with the app. He and Mainsma swap spots. And Mainsma, who will undoubtedly pick up the win today, is now out in right field. 2 outs away from what would be a run rule victory. If a team leads by 10 or more, game is Thomas White waits inside. The counts a ball and a strike. It is going to be a warm, sunny, steamy, sticky weekend and week in Easley, South Carolina. 1-1 is fouled back, so it's now a ball and 2 strikes. One, two. It's upstairs. And with the Netherlands at this point likely to move on, if not for a giant rally these final innings, it would set up quite the interesting matchup of a Dutch on Dutch battle. Curacao waits, and that's of course a constituent country of the Netherlands. Matter of fact, one of the Kennemerland Little League players, the man behind the plate, Javon Vicario, was born in Curacao and has since moved his family and lives in the Netherlands. Thomas White with the base hit keeps things rolling. So White represents the run that would keep this game alive past the 5th inning. Here's Jeff Luo. Swings and foul tips that into the mid. That pitch is high. Count evens, ball and a strike. Our next battle today, you can start to see the Latka regional team in the background there. Mexico, Matamoros Little League. That one gets by Vicario, and now the run that needs to score for to keep this game alive is in scoring position. So McBain is to third, and White up to second. One. Wave and a miss, strike two. That game that follows us is Mexico against the Asia Pacific region, and that's New Zealand out of Auckland. 2-2 on the way. The air, shallow right, who wants it, long run, mains but dives, keeps it in front. Here comes McBain, he scores, and White, a gigantically important runner for Canada, is now 90 feet away from keeping this game alive past the 5th inning. Jeff Luo knocks in Canada's first run. The error opened the door a little bit earlier in the frame, and since back-to-back base, not hard hit ones, but hits nonetheless off of Schulte to Horst. Long run. And that was, boy, that's probably Hazel's ball. And maybe Mainsma wanted to make the play. But now Sherman Garrio's out there trying to steady the ship. And perhaps he's reminding them of the importance of what that run over at could potentially mean. After a 6-run top half of the 5th, Canada has answered with its first run of the game. But the run it needs to bring home is White at third. Here's Evan Campbell on the left side. That's in for a strike. White grounded out to third, his only other time at the plate. That one bounces. Gets by Vicario, but up that third base side, which makes White think better of trying to do anything heroic. Runners at second and third. Luo moved up. That one's bounced back to the mid. Schulte to Horst coming up the tag. He's out. 2 gone in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Netherlands, if they hold this run from scoring from third, they're an out away from win. Schulte to Horst with excellent reflexes to secure it on the transfer law. And I wonder if Thomas White took off when he saw that the pitcher dropped it. Clearly Vicario got the tag on him in time. Oh, that is a play by the pitcher and the catcher. Here's Jacob Elliott. Takes that in the dirt. So it's Campbell reaches on the fielder's choice, and it's a 1-2 put out. Luo is over at third. Campbell at first, and the 1-0 to Elliott. Outside corner for a strike. Canada wants to keep this thing going. Ottawa's East Nepean little 1-1. Owens in the air. Out to center. Brewers underneath. He got it. And that final. The Netherlands uses the run rule to defeat Canada and advance to tomorrow's game against the Caribbean region champs, Curacao. The Dutch-on-Dutch battle to determine who advances to what ultimately is the de facto international bracket semifinal on Tuesday. A statement win by an athletic, physical, and aggressive on the base pass. Just outside of Amsterdam. Kennemerland Little League moves on. Was quite simple. Brilliant. Invincible at times on the mound. He took a perfect game into the 4th inning. Went 3 2/3 of perfect ball before a couple of hits in the 4th. Ultimately threw 60 pitches. And he threw 4 1/3 innings of technically clean ball. 1 run is charged to him, but it's an unearned run. And the Netherlands nonetheless overwhelms Canada 11-1. So it faces maybe one of the favorites in the tournament, the Caribbean region champs, Curacao. John Dutch battle tomorrow. That's at, by the way, 9 a.m. now instead of the originally 10 a.m. time. 9 Eastern, the battle between the Netherlands and Curacao. Hope you enjoyed this one. 2 more games coming up in easily right here on ESPN+. But for the entire crew, I'm Kevin Fitzgerald saying so long for now. Easily, the Netherlands, big winners today.